Alright guys, my name is Shervin House. Welcome to the FinlyWealth channel. In this video, we're going to take a close look at the RBC ION Visa Card, which is one of the most popular RBC cards in Canada. Now, this is an affordable credit card that offers some considerable amount of value back and some features as well. But is it the craziest card out there? Probably not. It's definitely alright as a starting credit card if you were already an RBC client and you got this card as a part of your banking package. It's definitely a nice card to start with at least. But if you have the opportunity to pair it up with other credit cards or maybe even look at replacing it with another killer credit card, there are definitely some good options out there as well. But in order to understand all of that better, we're going to take a close look at what the card offers you and how it compares against other credit cards in Canada. But before we get into it, if you are new to the FinlyWealth channel, make sure to smash the subscribe button down below and join the community. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash the like button down below as well. And now without further ado, let's get into the RBC ION Visa Card. Now this card costs $48 a year to own and it gets you 3 points per dollar spent on grocery, dining, food delivery, rides, gas, EV charging, streaming, digital gaming, and subscriptions, as well as also getting you 1 point per dollar spent on everything else. Now, of course, you're probably wondering how much are those points worth exactly? And as you can see, according to this chart on FinlyWealth.com, if you transfer those points to redeem towards WestJet, they're going to be worth about 1 cent per point, but on pretty much everything else, they're worth less than that. So really, if you have this card and you're accumulating points, you want to make sure you redeem those towards a WestJet flight, not anything else. And as long as you just do that, you're getting basically about 3% value back on all those categories that I just mentioned, and about 1% value back on everything else. Now, given that this is not a super expensive credit card, those are actually all right numbers. Those are not too bad. There are some cards that cost a little bit more that can get you quite a bit more value back on all those categories, but that's not to say you're not getting enough value as is with this card, at least not compared to those credit cards. Now, there are some no-fee credit cards that under certain circumstances can get you quite a bit more value back on pretty much all those categories without costing you a single dollar in annual fees. And one example of that would be the Rogers Red MasterCard. Now, of course, in order to get the high cashback that we're looking for from that card, you do need to have at least one service with either Rogers, Fido, or Shaw. But as long as you have at least one service with them, you can basically get up to 3% value back for everything that you buy with that card. So even though with the RBC ION Plus, you're basically getting 3% value back on a lot of categories, you first need to make sure you're redeeming all that value back towards WestJet and nothing else. And two, you're still getting about 1% value back on a lot of remaining categories. So there's a lot of odd purchases you might make that might not fit into those categories that we just went over. And those obviously are not going to get you 3% value back with the RBC ION Plus. Whereas with the Rogers Red MasterCard, if you have at least one service with either Rogers, Fido, or Shaw, you're basically going to get 3% value back on everything, and it's going to be in the form of cashback. So you don't have to go out of your way to make sure you're buying flights with WestJet. You're basically getting straight cash. Now, of course, there are certain ways you got to redeem that cash back to make sure you're getting 3% value back. Make sure to check out my full video on the Rogers card. I'll leave a link to it up here if you want to find out more about how that works. But basically, you can get that card, pay no annual fee, so you don't even have to pay the $48 a year that you're paying with the RBC ION Plus, and you're getting more value back, and it's in the form of cash, so you don't have to spend it towards one particular airline. And that's why even though I don't hate the RBC ION Plus card, I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's like one of the worst cards or anything like that. It's definitely okay, but there are better options out there. Now, of course, not everyone has at least one service with Rogers, Fido, or Shaw. But here, I'll give you another example. The Simply Financial Visa Card. Again, completely free to own, no annual fee whatsoever, and it gets you 4% cash back at restaurants, bars, and coffee shops. In fact, even if you have the RBC ION Plus Visa Card, that's still a really good card to get and pair up with this card because you can get so much more cash back at restaurants, bars, and coffee shops. And let's be honest, a lot of us do spend quite a bit dining out. And you know, with the prices rising and everything, basically anywhere you go to have some sort of a meal or something like that, it's going to cost a pretty penny. And so getting 4% back on all of those, that's going to add up very fast. But is that it? Does the RBC ION Plus offer any perks or anything like that? Well, let's go through them. There are a couple of perks that this card does offer. One that I think is really good is that it offers mobile device insurance. Now, not a lot of super cheap credit cards offer this, so it's nice to see this here. Basically, the way it works is that if you buy your phone with this card, then you are protected and insured up to $1,000 if there is any accidental damage or theft within the first 2 years. So that basically means that you don't have to buy Apple Care Plus or any other sort of warranty. You have this protection for only $48 a year that you're paying for your card anyways. Now, the card does also have purchase protection and extended warranty, but that's very standard with pretty much most cards that you pay at least some sort of a fee for. A lot of the no fee cards maybe don't have this feature, but pretty much all the cards that you pay a fee for, they do have purchase protection and also extended warranty. Now, there's a little bit of a gas discount. If you go to Petro-Canada specifically, you get 3 cents off per liter with this RBC credit card and also a number of other RBC credit cards. So that's pretty nice to have, particularly if you live near a Petro-Canada, but if you don't, then it might not be that big of a deal for you. Also, there's a little bit of a sign-up bonus with the card. You do get 3,500 Avion points within the first 2 months just as a welcome bonus. And you will also get another 3,500 Avion points if you spend at least $500 within the first 3 months on your card. So if you just get that sign-up bonus, that's basically $70 that you can spend towards your next WestJet flight, which means that you're basically paying for the first year of owning the card. Remember, the card costs $48 a year to own. So overall, to summarize this card, the sign-up bonus is nice. It does get you at least a decent amount of value back. It does have at least some of the more bare bone features. At least they are there, even though something like a Rogers Red MasterCard doesn't even have those. But of course, it's a good idea to pair this card with other cards that also get you something else. For example, a Simply Financial Visa card that can give you 4% back at restaurants, bars, and coffee shops. Or you could legitimately look at other options such as a Rogers Red MasterCard if you do qualify for the higher cashback because you have at least one service with Rogers, Fido, or Shaw. Because if you do, that card is free to own. You don't have to spend the $48 a year that you do with the RBC ION Plus Visa card. And of course, you get 3% value back across the board on all your purchases instead of on a number of categories and not anything else. And of course, as always, if you're interested in learning more about these cards, we of course have a dedicated page to each of these cards on the FinlyWealth website. We will leave a link to each of these pages down in the description below where you can go and check out all the details for yourself. Now, do you own the RBC ION Plus Visa card or do you own other RBC credit cards? Let us know what your experience has been with the RBC cards in the comments down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next video.